Andre, the News 24 audience will never forgive me if I don't ask you when is load shedding going to end. So we want a date, please, a time if you can. What do you need for load shedding to end? Just tell us in broad strokes, what do you need to happen for it to end?
I think the first point to make is that Eskom is not the supplier of last resort. Bear in mind that Eskom cannot buy electricity of its own accord, and Eskom cannot build power stations of its own accord. It needs to obtain permission to do so in terms of Section 34 of the Electricity Regulation Act, or where new electricity is procured, that is being done on our behalf by the Independent Power Producer Office that reports into the DMRE. So we can't sit as a board of Eskom and say, hang on, we need more electricity, let's go and build a plant. That simply is not part of our strategic options. So within those constraints, we therefore need to, as a country, add more capacity to the grid. Our job is to make available grid access as quickly and as affordably as possible. So we've identified 31,000 hectares, of land across South Africa that we own. So we're a very large landowner, and that land has got very good grid access. And we believe that we can add 7 to 8 gigawatts of new capacity by making available this land to renewable energy investors. And we ran a first pilot of that, making 4,000 hectares of land available. It was 3 times oversubscribed. And we think we can add about 1,800 megawatts in 2 years' time by leveraging just that one parcel of land. So that gives us hope that there's sufficient investor appetite for these projects without the requirement that is inherent in the bid window process of a guarantee from National Treasury. And that, of course, is something that the national balance sheet no longer has any capacity to provide.
And that will end load shedding.
Yes, but I was berated the other day by one of the officials for talking too much about the future. This official said, no, but you talk too much about the future, you should talk about the present. And my response to him was that we have in the past spent far too little time talking about the future, and that is why we find ourselves in the situation at present. If we don't start working for the future now, we will not achieve it. It will not happen.
And that's one of the reasons why we're here today. So thank you very much for joining us. Andre, we've got 1 minute, 40 seconds. What does Eskom look like in 2050? You're probably not going to be there anymore, but what do you think it should be looking like?
Are you saying I'll be fired? No, I think Eskom coal-fired generation will be significantly smaller. We will probably have Medupi and Kusile operating. We will have retired Koeberg, that will have reached the end of its life. We will have made, as Eskom, some modest investments in technologies, gas, some renewables, which will still be operating. We will have invested significantly in storage capability, particularly pumped hydro storage, which we need. And the biggest part of the business will be the transmission grid. We need to build, just in the next decade, 8,000 kilometers of new transmission line, which is going to cost 131 billion rand. And that's going to be the heart of the business going forward.